Now, I would like to ask the same question to Lily May. Can you coming up next?
Sure. So, good afternoon, and thank you for allowing me this opportunity to join all of you today. I'm delighted to be here amongst the community that allows us to then have this conversation. And I'll be really candid. I know that some of the reporters covered this, and I really think at times this is an uncomfortable conversation if we're going to be honest about this. And so I believe that this is really important, that we have the positivity that the song represents in terms of the outreach and the camaraderie between our community and recognizing that we all belong right here. But this is something that somebody had asked earlier that sadly has occurred for many years and still to this time occurs. When the pandemic hit, I will let you know that our city put out fact sheets in English and in Chinese in partnership with our fire department. And immediately I had received even things like death threats saying that you must be a communist, you must be a spy, you're just trying to destabilize the US economy. And so people don't realize that still, that unfortunately ignorance still is very prevalent in some parts of the community. And I think when we talk about this topic, we have to recognize it's about looking at us as a collective, not just the selective, and that everyone needs to feel like they're safe. And right now, one of the things that I'm also challenged by is when it comes to justice, it can't be just us or bipartisan. It has to be something united. I don't think that it's okay to terrorize, intimidate, threaten, or bully anyone, regardless of their political party, regardless of their faith, regardless of their gender, regardless of their ethnic orientation or sexual orientation. And we have to stand united. And that's one of the things that we worked on in our city. We've had a past practice of having interfaith worship and also recognition with our Human Relations Commission. That's what I brought with me earlier today, which is Fremont Stands United Against Hate. And we joined many other cities in making that statement, that we stand united, that we recognize people come from different backgrounds, different ethnicities, sexual orientations, and other areas, so that we want everyone to feel welcome, to live, work, worship, educate, and grow your families together. So I think that that's critical, and that's why I brought this poster. The other thing I think is important is that when I ask of all of you, and we're here having a conversation today about how important it is, I think it's important that we don't just talk about this. We need to take action. We can't simply be here and be a bystander. We need to be an upstander. We can't ask people to do something that we ourselves will not be able to do. And I'm right now in a situation, and I've been in the past situations where I'm deeply disappointed sometimes being targeted or called an extremist, or if you're not the chosen one, the rhetoric by which people will take tactics. When I ran for re-election for mayor, I had a candidate actually call me as a foreign national, pull all my Asian donors' names, and ask whether or not they were foreign spies, and I had to defend myself. In this day and age, even though I was born in Chicago, grew up here in Pennsylvania, as whether or not I'm a true American. And I think that that is pathetic. And unfortunately, there are many people who saw this happening and didn't necessarily stand up. And in fact, also, when I tried joining the Democratic Party many years ago, I will let you know that I have run many times as independent, because when I started on school board, I think every child deserves a quality education. And I don't ask the children when they walk in what party you're with or what ethnic background. Every child deserves that quality. And that's why I'm proud during my tenure, and I know I had my trustee here with me earlier and council member Yang Xiao. Every single school in the school district is recognized as one of the best, because we put the time and effort to make sure every parent and every community member feels welcome. But when I tried joining the Democratic Party, I actually was told that there's no seat for me available at the restaurant. And when I finally sat down, they told me that I wandered for about an hour and a half, and they told me that if you have a seat, somebody might come, you might have to leave. And even when I sat down, they told me there might not be any food for me available in the entire restaurant. And so I stayed for the whole time, because I feel that I don't run away from anything. I run for these situations, because I feel that we need to stand up. And even though it can be very intimidating and bullying, that I want to make a change, and the only way to make a change is to be part of it. You can't be part of something that you're not involved in. And so I think that, again, I think it's fine and okay to disagree, and that's why right now we're having these conversations. But what I also strongly believe in is that we don't want to just demand respect. We earn it, because we go out and we're part of the community. And so whether or not we're looking at issues right now in our communities, or at the state level in terms of housing, homelessness. You can't understand the needs of the people or our small businesses by sitting behind a desk or just reading a report. You need to go out and be part of the community, to listen and to care. And that's one of the things I really think that we as leaders, whether it's elected or even as community members or students, I feel that you show your power by caring enough to do something about it, not by standing by and by watching it. So other things that I'd say, what have we done and what will we do? Real quickly, I was going to say I had the honor of serving on the school board for 2 terms, and during that time period, I was the president of the Asian School Board Members Association, and I actually served with Jay Chen. So I'm delighted to see him here today, to have a brother in these efforts. But I think it's very important that one of the things that we reconstituted, which was critical, there's always been an Asian at large, a black at large, a Latino at large, but with the fact that we brought back the Council of Presidents, which meant that we worked together, united as caucuses, in understanding the needs of our community. And in fact, it's not about just being an Asian school board member. We also made sure at that time that we wanted people who, there were allies, who had students. So it doesn't mean you have to personally be Asian. It means that you have to care about the Asians in your community. And so that's why I think these are things that we can do. Other things I'd real quickly like to summarize is during this time period, I think it was important for us to be united. And one of my favorite memories for National League of Cities is when we had the conference. That's when they just announced the virus. And I was really worried that nobody would show up at the Asian reception, you know, because everyone was so fearful. They weren't sure what's going to happen. And I had written out to all my fellow caucus presidents. And I was super moved that they all showed up because they recognized how important it was that we stand in solidarity. And one of my favorite memories, because Asians like to karaoke, is that we were up there singing "We Are Family." And people are looking at us like, you guys are a really interesting looking family. But it's the family of human race, the family of love, and the family that's united in saying that we don't tolerate hate. And so I really appreciate people for doing that. I appreciate the efforts when it came to health and equity during COVID, that we worked with, I worked with some of our fellow Black and Latino caucuses in putting out messaging for public service announcements, for talking about healthcare equity, working with Mass General about COVID and recognition. And then also in terms of here in our communities, I have to thank one of my council members, Teresa Kang, and also my other council members, Yang Xiao, for going out and talking with some of the Asian publications to say, don't be fearful, and it would damage our restaurants if you didn't support them. So encouraging people and ourselves going out there to dine, to walk, and to be part of this. So again, I'm just delighted to be here, to be able to share this opportunity about why we all belong and that we need to stand united. And I am so privileged. I represent the 6th largest Asian city in the United States. It's 60% Asian. And if I'm so humbled and honored, I will be able to serve my 6th office and 6th election successfully, representing the largest Asian district in Senate in California. And now more than ever, like I said, I think it's critical. I'm excited, but I'm also disappointed at times to say that in US history, for large US cities, I'm only the 3rd in US history for women directly elected to mayor. And so we need to do more, we need to do better, we need to build a pipeline, but we only do this when we work together, because united we stand. And the most important part of community is the word unity.